Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I'm so grateful that we get to spend this time together helping you to magnify your miracles. We have such a special guest to share with you today. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about something that is, in my opinion, really miraculous, and I can't wait to share it with you. But before we do that, let's take a few deep breaths together and just get ourselves grounded and centered. Breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything you no longer need. If you are driving, please keep your eyes on the road, but you can always bring your awareness to your breath. And just the simple act of focusing on our breath helps us to start to feel that miraculous presence that we call the divine presence here with us, within us, surrounding us, supporting us. And knowing that you're going to hear today whatever you need to hear to help you to magnify your miracles. Let's take one more deep breath together in gratitude, and we can begin. All right, my friend, well, welcome back once again. So excited to have you here on today's podcast, because we are going to be talking about something amazing, which is that your purpose, your sacred life purpose, as I like to call it, has a spirit guide. And we're going to be talking with my beloved wife, Deepa Liu, who is a sacred artist and has an amazing story to share. So for those of you who have been listening to the podcast since the beginning, you'll know Deepa has been a guest on the podcast before, but we have a lot of people who are just joining us in the last year and just starting to listen to the podcast. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Deepa, and then we're going to dive into this really amazing topic. I'm still just like in awe that she can do this. So Deepa is the co-founder with me of the Magnify Your Miracles membership. She's the author of an amazing book called Set Your Mind for Success and Attract What You Really Want. She is a sacred artist, and she specializes in helping empaths and highly sensitive people, spiritual entrepreneurs, to really connect in with their truth and to really know like who is on their team, who is guiding them, so that they can do what she calls their holy calling in the world in a more confident and a more dynamic way. And it's really cool. So I'm excited to share all of this with you and more. Please help me welcome my wife, Deepa. Hi, Deepa.
Hi, Francis.
I'm so
So
happy
great
to
to be
have
with
you
you.
here. Yay!
Thank you.
We get to talk about such a cool topic. I'm so excited. So there are people that might not know your story, and part of it is like when I met you, which is many years ago. When I met you, you were in a completely different field. You would not consider yourself particularly creative. You definitely didn't consider yourself to be clairvoyant, or I think you might have thought you were intuitive in your own way, but nothing like what you're doing now. And one of the things that you've shared with me is that when you started learning painting, which is very recently, it's only like what, maybe 6 or 7 years ago that you started to paint, you didn't even know you had this talent, things started happening for you. So can you explain and share your story with us about how is it that you noticed that like you started painting and then your intuition started to really expand?
Yes, definitely. When I first met you, I was somebody who was spiritual. I was on the spiritual path, been on a long time, but I wasn't visual. Like if I did a guided meditation, I wouldn't see anything. Nothing. But I would feel things because I'm an empath, but I wouldn't see anything. And then you encouraged me to go take an art class. I would not have even identified myself as a creative person. I knew that I liked drawing little things here and there, but I didn't do art. I just would, like take a little pencil and scratch on some paper. And I knew I kind of liked making some things, but didn't do that as any kind of career. And you encouraged me to take this art class, and I went and took it, and it just was like something like woke up in me. Like, oh, I love this. I could feel like doing it, how happy it made me, how joyful. So I was like, I want to do this every day. And so you supported me in the idea of like, okay, going to the art studio every day. And I signed up and started going to this art studio 5 days a week. And I got this idea, like as I was doing that, that, oh, what I want to paint are, like spiritual souls. And I decided I wanted to paint Yogananda and really wanted to like have that painting like be infused with his power and energy. But it was something I kept a secret. I didn't want to tell anybody because I thought, oh, like this is really what I want to do. But I don't know if you who is listening ever felt that way. You've got something that you really want to do, but you're kind of scared to tell anybody. Well, that's what I was. I was afraid to tell anybody, kept the secret to myself, finished Yogananda, and someone who I did not know in the art studio came in and found me and said, "Are you the one who painted Yogananda?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Well, I just have to tell you, I'm a disciple of his, and I can feel his power and energy in this painting." Those were the exact things I told myself I wanted to be infused into this painting, that people felt blessed with his power and his energy. And so that was the first time I was like on the outside going, "Well, thank you." On the inside going, oh my God, it worked, it worked. And so that was the beginning of like this idea of like, I want to paint these things, but then what started to happen that I did not even wish for or think about in my meditations, I started getting these visions, of these different. At the time, I did not know they were spirit guides. I just knew they were visions, and I started getting these visions, and I thought, oh wow, I'm becoming a visual person, And then as I kept meditating and getting more and more visions, I realized, oh, these are spirit guides that want me to paint them so they can come into the world and bless people. And so they each started to come with like, here's what my blessing is. Here's what I want to bless people with. And so everything in the behind me has been created kind of from that idea of like a vision where they wanted to come and bless, other than Our Lady of Guadalupe. But other than that, they were all kind of like visions of things. And I'm like, oh, and they got infused with a particular blessing. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. So for those of you who are listening and not necessarily watching, I encourage you to hop over to YouTube so that you can actually see when Deepa's pointing behind her. She's got all these beautiful paintings behind her that are up in her studio. And that's actually the Yogananda. So when she says Yogananda, she means Paramhansa Yogananda, who's the author of Autobiography of a Yogi. Now, if you point to him right behind you, it's kind of in a brown tone painting, right? And I'm just going
Yeah.
to tell people, this is the first painting that she ever did of a person. Okay. If I showed you my first painting of a person, it looks like a stick figure. Like this was her first painting of a person, and she did Paramhansa Yogananda, and it looks just amazing. And then the one right to the on our screen, it's to the right of Yogananda, is Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is one of the apparitions of Mother Mary. And this is Deepa's interpretation of it, and it's her first color painting that she did. And you did that, I'm just going to brag about you, within 6 months of your first art lesson. So I'm just going to say this was definitely a gift that you had that you didn't know that you had. And when you said yes to it, so many other things opened up for you.
Definitely. I mean, it's almost it's like a miracle. Like I didn't know I could do this. And miracles are anything you didn't think you could do. It started to happen. But so as I continued to paint, I started painting these spirit guides into portals. All of a sudden, I got this download in meditation that I should put on my website, that I could tune into somebody's energy and see the spirit guide that was there to help them with either overcoming a challenge or manifesting their purpose. And I was like, all right. At that point in my life, I followed divine guidance, even if I didn't know if I could do it, because I did not know. I was like, all right, I'll put it on my website. And I went and put it up on my website, not even knowing if I could do it. But I thought, oh, I followed divine guidance, put it up on my website. It's done. But then, I don't know, a year or two, I'm not exactly
And
sure
you
the
didn't
amount of time.
promote it at all.
I didn't promote it at all. Didn't promote it. I never told anybody because I was afraid. Like, wow, I don't even know if I can do this. But I followed divine guidance. I stuck it up on my website. And then one day I realized that I was hiding a little part of me, in the closet, spiritually. Anybody been there? If you've been, I see a lot of people do it. They hide it from their spouses or family members because they're afraid, because maybe they're going off from what they grew up in, or, I grew up in a really non-spiritual family at all. So I kept things secret from my family because I was afraid that they might, think I was weird. But, I finally decided I needed to come out of that spiritual closet, not hide any of it, And so I'm putting my stake in my ground. I'm coming out of the spiritual closet, and so I was at some business networking thing, business training, but it was also kind of networking. And we got to stand up and say what we did. So I stood up and just said everything about me spiritually, not thinking it was going to turn into anything. Just like, here's my coming out of the closet. I'm saying it out loud in front of all these people. And then we went home, and 24 hours later, I opened up my email, and I'm looking at my email, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Somebody sent me an email saying, I was looking at your website, and I see you do this like spirit guide, personal divine princess portal thing. I think I want one. I almost fell over. I'd like to meet with you and talk to you about it. So I met with her, explained the process, and she did it. That was the first time. But I was scared the whole time because I was like, I can do it. And I kept telling myself, well, worst case scenario is I give her money back. Worst case scenario is I give her money back.
So what ended up happening? Because I want you to tell the rest of that story, because from what you shared with me, this person was very much a Mother Mary person. She was somebody who, like, that was her main way of connecting with spirit, was through Mother Mary. And tell us what it's like when people work with you, of like how you tune into their spirit guide.
Yeah, I'd love to. So it was a download again about how to run, this appointments with people and how to do it. So I had gotten that, okay, I do a first appointment on Zoom and I have the person state, I help them clarify what they want help with, whether it's overcoming a challenge or manifesting a purpose. Most of the people that have come to me are wanting to manifest a purpose in some way, what I call their holy calling. But she came and wanted to manifest this purpose. And so I help people come up with a clear statement of what that is so they can hold that intention, because that statement of intention is calling in the spirit guide. And so that they say it aloud, then we meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. It's usually like more like 5, and then I get a vision. And I get a vision and then the message of what the spirit guide wants to help the person with, what they want them to start doing, what they need to shift with. It's actually like a message and a blessing kind of put together is what I've seen over time. And so then we're done. I don't tell the person who I'm talking to anything about it because I don't want to give them any preconceived ideas. I just want them to, when I present it to them, let them experience the spirit guide. So I go away, paint the guide, and as I'm painting the spirit guide, I infuse it with all this energy. I do prayers, I invite that spirit guide into the portal. And then I come back and present it to the person and give the message. So this particular person was my first person. Yes, the whole time in the first appointment, she talked, Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary. She talked about Mother Mary so much that the vision I had, it made me go, did I see the wrong thing? Because I'm like, Mother Mary did not show up for her, but I'm going to paint what I saw. So I painted what I saw. And showed her the painting. I brought it up, to show it to her and said, well, here's your spirit guide that presented herself. And I showed it in the camera, and all of a sudden I look and I see like a little like tears coming out of her eyes. And I went, oh, I think this is good, on the inside. And I'm not saying a word, but on the inside, I'm like, I think this is good. And she said, I didn't tell you this, but I was told in an Akashic reading many, many years ago that I am to work with the fairy. And what I saw was a fairy, and I painted a fairy. And so that's when I went, oh, I can do this. Oh, this is part of my calling to do this.
Well, and I will also clarify, you didn't just paint a fairy, because we got to meet when you actually delivered it to your client. We had an opportunity to be there in person, and she had a picture from that Akashic reading of that person's interpretation of the fairy, and it was 99% identical with what you painted. Blew my mind.
Yeah, blew all of our minds. The skirt that I
God.
painted had the same swirl and the same color.
Same
and
colors.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. Now, one thing I want to ask you, just so that people understand, because you and I use these words and other people might not understand, why do you call it a portal and not just a painting? Why isn't it just like, this is a painting of my spirit guide? What is it that makes it a portal? Yeah, just tell us that. What makes it a portal?
No, really good question. Because yes, a lot of people don't really know what it is. But a portal, The reason why I use the word portal and not painting is because the portal is a doorway to connecting with that spirit guide. It's not just like, oh, how cute, there it is, and you walk by it 10 times. It's actually a spiritual tool for you to be able to connect with your guide, and it's been infused, like I'm inviting that spirit guide in as I'm creating it and painting this spirit guide to be in this portal, in this, in the canvas and the paint and there, so that you can have a better connection and feel blessed by, this spirit guide, and be able to start to connect with her, him, them, because I never know what shows up on a deeper level. And these spirit guides are here for you, because a lot of people go, well, do I have a spirit guide? Why do I want to connect with them? What's the purpose? And and I'll be honest, when I first started getting these visions, I was like, well, why do we have these spirit guides? Like, well, what are they here to do? And then as I worked with my own spirit guides, realized that everyone has a spirit guide for their purpose, their holy calling. And the reason that spirit guide is here is to help you have, faster spiritual growth, faster transformation, because left to our own, we come from our ego mind or subconscious mind. And sometimes you see yourself kind of looping around in the same, little circle where you go back to where you've been. And the spirit guide is going to give you guidance and blessings to help you break that cycle of being in that circle of just going around and around in circles, if you work with the guide.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. It's not just something that you put up on your wall and like that's it, you actually interact with. So for people that may or may not know, in the Orthodox Christian tradition, Russian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox, they have what they call icons. And icons are these paintings. They're usually on wood and they're done in a special way. But what activates them, what really turns them into these portals, is the fact that people interact with them that way and they believe that it's possible. They're raised with this idea that the icon isn't God, it's a doorway to God. So you're not worshiping the icon, you're using it as a way to kind of connect. But you and I have seen that these icons, they receive so much devotion from people. People pray and all of that, that they often, like, they come alive. They stream myrrh, or they have miraculous qualities to them, that kind of thing. And so that was the first thing I thought of when you shared with me what you were doing. And I was like, oh my God, it's like taking that idea of an icon, except it's not necessarily a religious figure, it's specific to that person. But we have to do our part, and we have to interact with the portal so that it starts to, become alive for us and have that, connection. That's right. Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly correct. Because, like if you just stick it up on your wall and you walk by and ignore it every single day, then it won't have the same power as if you actually, interact and commune. Like with my spirit guide portals, some mornings I'll feel like I need connection for myself, because when I work with clients, it's really easy to give them clarity and give them a message. But as you know, it's not always easy doing it for yourself.
Right.
And so I'll sometimes sit down at my altar and go, all right, spirit guides, who wants to volunteer and give me some guidance, give me a message? And one of them will, like I do, like the heart chakra angel will come forward, or Yogananda, or the sword of light, or, whoever, Archangel Michael. And then I actually commune with that spirit guide portal of like, what do you have to, tell me what blessings, or I ask a question if I have a specific question of like, that spirit guide portal.
So that's actually part of what I was going to ask as I'm thinking about it is, our listeners are, a lot of them, spiritual entrepreneurs, they're light workers stepping into becoming light leaders. These are people who have big visions and are working on, like really making change in the world. And so how have you seen from, the ones that you've done, how have you seen that it really helps people to step into what you call your holy calling? Like, how can somebody use it to help them grow their business, or to help them with whatever their big vision is? Because the thing that I see is that people, they're looking for confirmation, they're looking for guidance, they're looking for some sense of direction, and they don't always know how to access their intuition. But how does the portal help with something like that?
Yeah, it helps on multiple layers. I know that most business people, like, we're in our own business, when we feel like there's a challenge or a problem, what happens is we kind of get caught in our own subconscious mind and thinking of like, here's this little box, and we're kind of got stuck in it. And so, one, the portal acts as a reminder that you're not alone, because it gives you a physical representation. So when you see it, like, ah, yes, my spirit guide's here with me, so you can remember that my spirit guide's with me. So that's one of the first things it does, because on the spiritual path, one of the really most important things that people don't get is one of the first things you've got to do is remember. We actually, these spiritual truths are around us all the time. We hear them, forget them, hear them, forget them. And your spirit guide portal is a reminder, first of all, to like, yes, my spirit guide is here with me. But two, it's about that doorway to connecting with your higher powers, that higher power of that particular spirit guide that is actually infused with the energy of your holy calling, your purpose. It's like here, it's here to whoever presents themselves. They're here because they carry the vibration of, they know you're meant to fulfill this purpose, this holy calling. What do you call it? Sacred life purpose?
Sacred life purpose is what I call it. Yeah.
So, what, it doesn't really matter the name you call it. It's a matter of like, this spirit guide is here to help you do this because it's why you came on the planet. It's what's going to help transform your own life, grow spiritually, but more importantly, make an impact in the world, transforming the world. Because each person that steps into their holy calling is transforming not only their own lives, which is amazing, but transforming the world by now having one more person stepping into that truth, of why they're on the planet.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Your spirit guide portal that's here for your holy calling is directly guiding you on what you need to do to step into that, what you need to do to maybe shift in consciousness, and giving you the blessings to like that divine grace to help you too, because sometimes feel like we need a little help.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you do this in two ways. You can either do it that you work with somebody and they want to know who their spirit guide is, and you do a session with them, you get the vision, you'll paint the vision, and it can be that way. But there's also something that you did for me, which I thought was really profound, is I wanted a specific manifestation of Mother Mary. I wanted to be able to manifest something very specific, and you actually painted a version of Mother Mary that was in alignment with something I really wanted to do. And that's something that you're also able to do, is kind of help people with whatever version of Divine Mother might work for them too. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, you actually were, the first person I did that for, but yes, you had it was a message from Mother Mary, right?
Yeah, I want to
And
share
you had
it too.
shared the message with me. And so I took that message and just infused it into this version. I asked Mother Mary to present herself to me of, what version of her wants to help Frances with this particular
And I'm going to show
message.
it. I'm going to show it.
Yeah.
So how it worked is, Deepa heard what it was. I had received this message, and then she went and she painted this amazing portal, which what I had asked for was, I wanted to be able to radiate out the energy of love. I wanted to be a channel of unconditional love. And again, for those who, I encourage you to take a look on YouTube, but this is the portal that she painted for me. I never know which way to turn here. There we go. So this is Our Lady radiating unconditional love. And you can see, just by looking at it and feeling it, the power and the energy that comes out of this. And so I have her on my altar, and I commune with her. I'm actually learning to commune with her, because it's a very different process for me to be working with something specific like that, as opposed to just journaling or whatever it is I do. But she's always in my room with me, blessing me, just like I want to share with people the painting behind me. This is one of the first paintings that you did, called Mother Mary Blessing the World. And I have to share with you, Deepa, that whenever I get on a Zoom call with people, or I'm doing a podcast interview or something like that, people's eyes, they're never looking at me. They're always looking at this painting. And they're always like, oh my God, that painting. Now, this painting, this portal, is with me 24/7, and she's helping me to be blessing the world. It's like Mother Mary's energy behind me, helping me to be blessing the world. And one of the things that I love about her is it's like it's magnifying, it's magnifying the energy. So whenever I do a message circle, whenever I do a class, whenever I do anything, not only is she magnifying that energy, but she's also absorbing that energy. So you've even said, you're the one that painted it, and you come in and you're like, whoo, there's a lot of energy coming off of that. So even having a portal in your office with you, if you're an entrepreneur, or in your spiritual space, it will be sending you blessings and energy, even when you're not consciously communing with it, right?
Yeah. I don't want people to think it does nothing when you don't consciously commune with it. But if you really want for it to get stronger and more powerful, and if you're looking for messages, then I tell people, if you never spoke to a friend, would they be giving you messages or talking to you a lot? No, so the more you actually connect with them, then the more you're going to get them feeling, coming forth. They're always giving you messages, to be honest, as spirit guides. It's just most people don't get how they're communicating.
I'm also going to share the spirit guide portal that you did for me. So I had said to Deepa, hey, you're doing all these portals for people. I want mine. And, this was before she had done the Mother Mary one. And I thought it was going to be like Mother Mary. And just like you had in your other experience, here I am like Mother Mary, Mother Mary, Mother Mary. And that is not who showed up to be my spirit guide portal. But the more I commune with this portal, I'm going to just show it to everybody. This is my spirit guide portal. And you can't see it, but the background is kind of like a purpley gray color. And this energy is actually very, very silver. And the message for me was that this spirit guide is here to help me not only reach more people, but to make it easier for me. Like he often is saying to me, just get on my back and let me carry you, kind of a thing. And that's exactly what I needed help with. And so it was so funny when you were painting that, because I know you were like, well, it's not Mother Mary, I don't know, but that's what you, in your mind's eye, that's what you saw, right?
Yeah, in fact, yours, I said, like I told you, the flying horse flew in, and was like flying all around, but it's not moving portal.
Right. It's not a GIF that's like animated.
Right.
Yeah.
But she was moving all around. I feel like it's a he, but they don't have any real gender. You can pick your gender.
No, it feels like a he to me. I actually named him Silver. And I think it's really an interesting thing to learn how to commune with spirit in a completely different way. And what's great for me is, because I'm so used to the way that I do it, to have a new way, it opens my eyes and it helps me to see things differently than the way that I always do things. It brings in that like childlike wonder. That's the thing that's so cool about it. It's like, wow, it brings us a sense of awe. And it's just another way to really experience that energy of unconditional love.
Yeah, and sometimes, when we keep doing things the same old way,
Yeah,
we kind of can get stuck in a little rut,
exactly.
or like myopic in how we view something. And so when you invite in another spirit guide, all of a sudden like, oh, there's a different perspective. And I don't know about you, but I know I'm really like into the joy energy, and when there's something like kind of new and you feel like it's really like true for you, it just sparks my joy. When I have something, it doesn't always have to be new, but when I feel like it's true, that's what really sparks my joy for me. I call myself the creative mystic, because creativity and mysticism are the two things that really like spark my joy, and just like let me be like the way I came in when I was a little kid, that joyful energy that was just there when I was small.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for mentioning that. Deepa does have a podcast for people that want to find out more about what she does. You can definitely get this inspiration on her podcast, which is called The Creative Mystic. And you can get that on Apple or on YouTube or anywhere that you tune in. And so, Deepa, if people want to connect with you, if they want to find out about their spirit guide, if they want to find out about a portal, like how do they do that? What would be the next step?
Oh, right now I'm giving a gift to people where they can connect with me for, a 30-minute session at no cost is complimentary. And we can talk about whether or not, getting their spirit guide portal is a fit for them, kind of like what they're wanting to do. Um, because I do offer some other things, but they can check in, to see like what's the fit for them. And they can go to deepalu.com/gift and
Okay.
get the complimentary gift.
So Deepa Liu, that's DeepaLiu.com/gift, GIFT. And
Right.
that's for, I think you call it a next step connection call. It's to find out if this is something that would be helpful for them or not helpful
Right.
for them. And
Yeah.
I really encourage you, if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're serious about doing your vision, if you know that you have this holy calling and you're really wanting to bring it forward, get as much support as you can. That's my thing, is like, I think we all need so much more support than we allow ourselves. And this is such a magical way to connect with spirit. It's such a miraculous way for you to feel supported. So not just, not just during the time that you spend with Deepa, but that you'll get to actually have something in your home. You can put it in your office and it can be there, A, as a reminder, but B, as this doorway for your own higher self, your own purpose to really commune with you and help you to really step into that.
Yeah, because I always say, if you haven't been able to like step into your purpose or your holy calling, it's not because something's wrong with you. It's because you haven't gotten the right support to help you overcome those challenges that you're having. And that support is so vital,
So true. So
to
true.
overcome them. I mean, I used to be a person that would like, do it on my own, and have learned that, that's the hard way.
That's the hard way, is right. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any last thoughts for us before we close today?
I think we've hit most of the points, haven't we? Like, I mean, it is definitely a way you can, if you're looking to, I find my spirit guide portals really can help you to grow your intuition. Creativity helps you really expand those. I mean, that's the thing I probably didn't stress a lot, was how much creativity is what, grew my spiritual gifts. Creativity combined with, you know, spiritual practices, mystical experiences, because I brought them together. But it's the thing that took the lid off. Is that the way you say it? Blew the lid off,
Blew
something
the
like
lid off. Yeah,
that.
blew the lid off. Yep, absolutely.
um, to my spiritual gifts, I have gifts that I never thought I would have. That now came forth once I started bringing creativity and mysticism together.
Hmm. And it's really, you're a walking, talking testament to that, because you were very much a logical, linear kind of person when I met you. And not that you're not still, logical, but there's that balance now of the creativity combined with the spiritual practices. It's just amazing. And so we didn't talk about this part of it, which is, once people have their portal, or even if, whether or not they want to have the portal, you actually help people with this, combining the creativity with the spiritual practices. It's part of your coaching program that you offer, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, sometimes people either want help stepping into their holy calling, or how do they have a better connection with their spirit guide so they can get the downloads more. And so I coach people on, either. That's why I say about like what's a fit for you, because sometimes people just want the portal and they run away and do it on their own. And sometimes people want more support. And it all depends how you're wired, what level of support you need.
Awesome. All right, everyone. So you can go to deepalu.com/gift and, give yourself the gift of taking the next step. What would that next step be for you if you're struggling in any way? You can connect with Deepa. Her podcast, The Creative Mystic, is a really great resource as well. Thank you so much, Deepa, for being here with us. I'm so grateful. Yay.
Thank you. It was so fun to get to speak here.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here today. If you did enjoy this podcast episode, please feel free to share it with your friends, with your family, on social media. It really helps to spread the light out into the world when you do that. So grateful. If you can, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That helps us even more. And don't forget that the key to magnifying your miracles is to know that your miracle is already here. God bless you. Bye-bye.